It's the 2K Sports Pregame Show.
This is the NBA on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson, happy to be here with my partners, Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. The action tonight will be happening out in Los Angeles, where the Clippers will be going up against the Utah Jazz. Well, for Utah, in comparison to where they were record-wise at this point last season, it seems they've taken a step backwards. They're trying to make up that ground. And a lot of stars on display every night in the NBA, but tonight we're going to be focusing on Blake Griffin. Guys, we see more and more forwards acting as a playmaker for their teams, and he's as good a passer as any.
Yeah, he can make great passes out the post. One of the few point forwards that could run the break. I love this guy when he gets on the break. He's going to bang on your face.
Well, Griffin, he just doesn't get enough credit for how well he reads the defense. He actually played point guard all the way through high school. So that's why he handles the ball pretty well, and he can act as a playmaker.
That's why we like to have you here, because you come up with gems like that.
Well, always a gem. You want another gem? The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
You mean like when Ernie tripped me on the set that day and I fell?
No, when I threw you in a Christmas tree. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, coming up shortly, tip-off. Kevin Harlan standing by.
The starting lineup for the visiting Utah Jazz. At power forward, Darren Favors. At the open court position, Joe Ingles. At shooting guard, Rodney Hood. At the other guard position, Ricky Rubio. At center, Rudy Gobert. The head coach of the Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers.
K Sports checks in with our loyal viewers with a broadcast from Los Angeles, the home of the Clippers, the Staples Center. 2K Sports brings you Friday night NBA action. With Greg Anthony and Brent Barry, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll be hearing from David Aldridge on the sideline. Look at Utah. After dropping the first 3 games of the season, they need to turn it around.
And seeing where Utah is, they've looked decidedly average here in the early stages of the season. And that's shocking when you consider the kind of success they're coming off from a year ago.
And they're going to have to step up their execution in a big way if they hope to come close to having the same success as they did last year. The good news for them is it's early and they have the luxury of time to get things sorted out.
All right, let's set the floor. Courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. So on the floor for Utah, Ingles at small forward with Favors at the 4. Hill and Hood in the backcourt. And it's Gobert in at the center. Now, here's Rubio. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Hood. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Here's Rivers.
Well, you know what DeAndre Jordan is going to give you. He's going to grab every rebound available out there and block shots defensively. And on offense, you're going to find him around the rim and finishing lobs.
The putback. Gobert pulls it in. Los Angeles on D. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with San Antonio.
Yeah, and some of that loss was due to a lack of hustle, especially on the defensive end.
And there are games where an opponent gets aggressive. You got to raise your level of play. They failed to do that in this one.
And with Jordan, he had a better season, Brent, in 2017 with his free throw shooting.
Well, 50% is a big improvement, but still not good enough. He's a liability out there on the floor late in the games because of the free throw shooting, but another offseason for DeAndre Jordan to address that issue and come back and be better.
Los Angeles making a switch here. Williams has checked in. Utah also making some changes. Jerebko's checked in for Favors. Cephalosha comes in for Joe Ingles, and it's Mitchell in for Hood. Now here is Cephalosha. Gobert the screen. Clock at 4. Cephalosha misses.
It looked like he wanted no part of that. Superb defense there, really making it tough on him.
Jordan kicks to Beverly. Back to Jordan. Passes it to Williams. With the shot. What a play. Simply drains it in at the buzzer.
And they make sure to get the last shot of the quarter there. Nicely done.
And good awareness there to beat the clock. Now they have a break in the action to discuss some other things.
And still a close game as the first quarter comes to a close. The Clippers on top. They lead by 1. We'll be back shortly live from Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles. And Clippers head coach Doc Rivers told us earlier he wants to embrace criticism and embrace lofty expectations.
Expectations are good. I try to remind my players and myself at times that all the criticism, all the stuff is really a compliment. It's really good for you. It means that people think you can be something.
Doc Rivers is really a master motivator, isn't he? I mean, it's almost jiu-jitsu, the way he takes something like criticism and turns it into a compliment.
How could you not want to play for a guy like that? He's the ultimate player's coach and the kind of guy his players would do anything for.
Either team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And taking a look at Los Angeles' performance here, what have they been doing or not doing?
Yeah, getting an early boost from the bench. That's been the difference here so far.
Well, a good coach always optimizes his rotation, and in the first quarter, he did a great job of that.
So on the floor for Utah, Ricky Rubio is out there with Mitchell. Then it's Thabo Cephalosha. And it's Rudy Gobert. And it's Jerebko in at the 4 spot. Now here's Gobert. He's coming off a 16-point game against Philadelphia.
And he also controlled the boards. He just seemed to be in the right position every time the ball came off the rim.
Now Beverly after the missed 3 from Rubio. And that one's good. Beverly.
This offense just continues to impress.
Jazz trail by 4. 46 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Rubio the pass to Gobert. And slam dunk by Gobert.
And he's an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
He is, and he picks the simple one-hand stuff to get the 2 points.
And you look back early in his career, Rudy Gobert, he kind of clogged things up just as much at the offensive end as he did defensively. And I tell you what, though, he's made significant strides, becoming much less of a liability on offense.
Catching up on the changes for the Clippers. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Reed. Blake Griffin comes in for Montrezl Harrell. Wesley Johnson's checked in for Sam Dekker. And it's Rivers in for Patrick Beverly. A free throw drops for Gobert. And Gobert last season with career highs in field goal percentage and free throw percentage.
And he averaged double figures for the first time in his career. If you ask me, he'll be a walking double-double in this league for a long time.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Here's Burks. Blake Griffin pulls it in.
You can't miss those kind of looks. The defense seems to be a little nonplussed so far in this one, but he flat out missed it.
Rivers dishes to Johnson. Pass to Griffin. Over Favors. Bank shot. No good.
And listen, you can't design a play any better to get a look that good. Just couldn't knock it down.
The best players know that is going to happen, and you just can't let it get into your head. It's a shot that you want to take.
And we're through the first half of basketball here, and what's been a good one. Clippers lead by 1. And we'll be back with you right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal, I'm Ernie Johnson. Time for the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. A pretty close game for the Clippers throughout the first quarter. They were unable to ever build a big lead in the first period, with 3 points being their largest cushion. The second quarter was dead even in terms of their scoring output from both teams, and they still find themselves in a good position at the half. And taking a look at the Clippers, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, I think they're feeling the energy of this hometown crowd. Sometimes you get a little complacent and comfortable in your surroundings, but no, they fed off adrenaline in the first half.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Utah?
Well, they spent a lot of time away from the basket offensively. They need to get in the paint, Ernie. Whether it's running the offense through the low post or on dribble drives, pick and rolls, get into the paint.
And that will wrap up our halftime report, as it's just about time for the start of the second half.
Welcome back to Los Angeles and the Staples Center. The freeways through downtown Los Angeles buzzing with traffic. And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. You have to like what we're seeing from Lou Williams.
And night after night, man, it just becomes common to watch him rip through teams, and that's exactly what we saw there in the first half.
Well, the defense pays so much attention to him. I think that's where we marvel at his ability to continue to find shots and still deliver.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. Utah trailing here.
It has to be, for a lot of teams, a fearsome part of their roster. This Clipper team having both Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan as their starters, both all-star caliber players. If they go unchecked, these 2 guys can go on the run.
The heart of the team at the 4 and the 5. Griffin and Jordan. Patrick Beverley out there with Rivers, and it's Gallinari in at the 3. That's who's out there for the Clippers. Here's Beverley after the basket by Utah. There's the pick. Jordan kicks to Rivers. Those 3-pointers off the mark. And with the Clippers, they do have that amazing 4-5 tandem. One of the best combinations of dunking big men ever on a team.
Well, they certainly are one of the more exciting combinations of forward and center, consistently getting above the rim and maybe taking the heart out of you with the way they get up there and finish so many lobs and demoralize your defense.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
And the first one at the line is good. And last season, you'll recall, Brent, Doc Rivers challenging this Clippers team to cut down on technical fouls.
I think they just wanted to get away from all the whining that was going on. I think some people were actually bringing cheese to the game for the Clippers to go with that wine. I kid you, Kevin.
I know.
But you just don't want to waste energy on things like that that are going on throughout the course of the game, and to have that kind of reputation around the refereeing circles.
And the Utah Jazz, historically, they've always been one of the better franchises in the NBA. And it was nice to see them back in the playoffs in 2017 after that 4-year rebuilding phase. It tied their longest playoff drought since the team moved to Utah. Great job of screening there. Nice job to take it to the rim and get the finish.
And this Jazz organization operating in a small market, but over the years, so competitive.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of times teams want to take shortcuts to contention. The Jazz know they're not going to win the free agent bidding wars. So that creates a kind of discipline that they're looking to build from within.
And Utah making a change here. Jerebko's checked in.
One shot.
That free throw good from Decker. And the Utah Jazz back in 2014, the worst defensive team in the league by points per possession. Greg, it's been a dramatic turnaround.
One of the premier defensive teams now in our league in terms of their imposing paint presence. Not a team that gambles for steals or deflections. They keep you in front and force you to play over the top.
Here's Beverly. Derek Favors making his last shot. And Beverly kicks to Rivers. From the arc. Offensive rebound. And the rejection by Favors. Decker passes to Beverly. The shot and game clock separated by 4. They set the pick.
Watch outside.
Jordan sets the pick for Beverly. Drills the three-pointer. Beverly's got his second bucket tonight.
And this is what it's all about, guys. The competitive spirit, the energy that we're seeing. This one's got the feeling like it's going to go down to the wire.
And if it does, as evenly as these two teams have played here, it's anyone's guess who's going to come out on top.
It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. Los Angeles on top, leading by a point. And we're coming right back. Be sure to stay with us as we get started for the fourth quarter. Let's hear what Doc Rivers has going on over in his huddle.
Hey, guys, we need a run right here. Come on now. You're right there. You're right there. All right, let's go.
And sensing the need to string together more baskets, Doc Rivers giving his team a little pep talk.
Yeah, he's going after the momentum. I mean, Doc sees an opportunity here for them to put their stamp on this game.
Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. So on the floor for Utah, they've got Favors. Cephalosha is out there with Jerebko. Then it's Rodney Hood. And it's Burks in at the 2. Outside Hood. From 13. Hits some rim on the way in. And the bucket's good.
And so far, this has got that feel of a game that could be back and forth all the way.
I wouldn't be surprised in the least. Both teams really struggling to maintain any sort of momentum.
Griffin with it. Working on Jerebko. Pocket 6. Jordan with the screen on Favors. There's Gallinari with the 3. And out of bounds as the Jazz gain possession. Los Angeles making a switch here. Rivers checked in. Utah also making some changes. Rudy Gobert comes in for Jerebko. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for Thabo Cephalosha. 1:06 left in the fourth quarter. Gobert with a screen on Beverly. Now here's Rubio. There's a good screen. Just 5 to shoot. Burks on the wing. Here's Favors. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
Oh, just got too aggressive. You've got to play smart. Got to it on the way down. And that's a big whistle.
Joe Ingles, he's checked in for Alec Burks. And the Clippers call time here. They're behind by 1. 43 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Now the presentation of our Jordan player of the game, Rudy Gobert.
And in terms of his shooting, this has been one of the more accurate performances you'll ever see. I mean, he's been in constant motion, creating a lot of good looks for himself. But still, even when you're wide open, you expect to miss some of the time. That has not been the case here tonight. This guy has made everything.
Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Well, during that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Doc Rivers said to his team. He said, "This is what we play for, fellas. Let's knock them on their heels right out of the timeout. Show them how much you want it. Go get it." He really is fired up about this game, Kevin.
Jordan with the screen on Rubio. Jumper off the screen, and he recovers it. Here's Griffin.
Timeout.
And that is clutch. Griffin always ready to take the big one.
Utah calls timeout. They're behind by 1. 7 seconds left in the game. Guys, what's your take?
And really no need to rush. Still plenty of time to get a good look.
Challenge is to get that good look, preferably the guy with the hottest hand.
Outside Hood. Jacks up a 3. Oh, the all-or-nothing shot. No good. So it's Los Angeles taking the W in a close one. That was a fun night of basketball and fabulous finish as they continued to wait out until the very last moment to seal.
And there are so many times when you see these tight games won at home, that advantage of having that crowd behind you oftentimes is the ultimate X factor.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you very much, Blake. Another good night of work offensively. How does the team build on this?
Just keep that rhythm. You know, we're not always going to hit shots every night. Some nights the shots aren't going to fall. So just keeping that rhythm, keeping the ball moving, talking on defense, and relying on each other.
Congrats on a great win, Blake. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. See you next time.